this will be our final video on introduction to the marble sorter machine and how to work it from PLC programming environment. So as you all know by now, first we have to double click DS Launch 5. It opens a window like this. From here, click DirectSoft 5 Programming. You can double click this and it asks you to give a project name. As I have mentioned before, always create a new folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. So always create in your S drive. I'm going to my S drive. Then I'm going to create a new folder, PLC or something. Inside that, I'm going to create a new folder naming this program. This is the final sample program I'm going to explain to you. So the folder name I gave, sample final. Then open that and we have to give the program a name. I am giving sample as the program name. Now everything else should remain the same. You don't have to change any family or type. Click OK. Now this tip will show up. You can just close this. Then maximize the programming environment. Now we are in DirectSoft 5 programming. The next thing you have to do is click PLC connect. Then select this because we only have one PLC here. Now this will be connected to the PLC and it asks where are you going to program. So we are programming in computer, then after that we are writing into PLC. So we can click use disk. So right now we can start writing the program. So to start writing, we have to be in the edit mode. You can click this edit mode or Control plus E. That is the shortcut. So in this video, I'm going to give you some introduction to timer and counter and how it works. We already know what all are our inputs and outputs. So we know X10 is our switch 1, Y10 is our feed motor. So I'm going to do a program like whenever I press the switch 1, after 10 seconds, I have to turn on the feed motor. How can I write that? For that, timer comes handy. So watch me how I program that. So the input is X10. Whenever I press that, I'm going to activate a timer. So in the end, I'm clicking there and typing TMR. This is the shortcut for timer. Then you can enter. Once you enter, it asks for a name for the timer. Right now it is T0. You can change it to some value. I gave it T1. It should be T followed by a number. Then it asks me how much I should wait, how much tenth of a second I should wait. So here I am going to give 100 so that it will wait for 10 seconds before turning on the feed motor. So that's it. Now whenever T1 gets activated, so T1 only gets activated after 10 seconds. So whenever T1 gets activated, I am going to turn on my feed motor. Feed motor is Y20. I click there and type Y20, then enter. So whenever T1 is turned on, Y20 is going to be turned on. It only happens after 1 second, 10 seconds. And every ladder logic program should end with a END command. Right now we wrote the program. Now we can accept these changes. We can turn on the status so that we know what are the current status of these variables. Right now everything is turned off. That's why you are not seeing any color in this variable. Now I can write this to PLC. Then it will ask, are you sure you want to write this? Yes, we want to write that. So we can click write. So it's going to be written in the PLC. Now it's written in the PLC. Now we can see what happens if we press X10. When I press X10, you can see the timer starts running, but this T1 is not active. Watch here, whenever it reaches 100, this timer is going to be active and Y20 is going to be active, and this stays as long as T1 is powered. So T1 is always powered when X10 is there. Now if I turn off the X10, you can see everything is turned off and timer is reset. So that's about timer, how to use timer. Now let's see another important important function we use in DirectSoft programming, that is known as counter. So I'm going to delete this timer. I deleted that timer. Now I'm going to input a counter. So to input a counter, the shortcut is CNT, counter, then enter. Then as in timer, it will ask for a variable name. You can give CT1. So it should start with CT followed by a number, and it will ask how many counts. You can give 3. What this means is that whenever 3 counts is hit, this counter is going to be active, CT1. So you can tick that. So whenever you press extend one time, counter 1 counts to 1. Whenever you press second time, this counts 2. Whenever you press this third time, it counts 3. And whenever 3 happens, this counter is going to be turned on. Also, we have to give a condition to turn this counter off. I'm going to give switch 2 as that reset command. So I can give it in the second line. So second line of this counter. So what this means is that whenever X11 is pressed, this counter will go to 0. Now this second line, I have to change it to CT1. So whenever CT1 is active, Y20 is going to be active. That means our feed motor will run. And the third line will be the END command. Now I am going to accept these changes. I have turned on the status so that you can see what's happening in the actual system. I'm going to write this to PLC. Click write to PLC. Click S write to the PLC. Now it's written to PLC. Right now you can see the counter is 0. Now I am going to press the switch one time. So the count reached 1. Now again I am going to turn on and turn off the X10. Now you can see counter became 2. One more time I am turning it on and off. You can see counter became 3. Whenever counter became 3, you can see the second line got activated and our feed motor will run. So now if you want to reset this, you can press the switch 2, that is X11, and you can see whenever you press that, it's going to reset the counter, and you can see the second line is also stopped. So the feed motor should not run now. So this is about counter. So you should be by now knowing how timer works, how counter works. If you have any doubts, I will be in the labs. Just call me and ask me. Also try this in your system. Okay, now we can learn something cool. What makes it more powerful? So I'm going to click here, shift right arrow, delete, shift right arrow, delete. So I'm going to delete all the lines, shift right arrow, delete, everything is gone. Now the another thing, major thing you have to learn in this PLC programming before starting the sample program is how to write a latching. So I'm going to show you how to write that. So I'm going to write a command like whenever you press switch 1, you are going to turn on the feed motor. And whenever the feed motor is on and you see a yellow marble, that is X4, you can see here yellow corresponds to X4, you should turn on Y20, you should turn on Y21. So that is, okay, sorry, this should be, yeah, you have to turn on Y21. This is diverter 2. Now what happens here is that whenever you turn on X10, Y20 will be turned on. or we'll change this to Y10, our feed motor. Feed motor, and here also we will change it to Y10 or feed motor. So what this program does is that when X10 is turned on, our feed motor is turned on. Feed motor is turned on and X4 is detected and yellow marble is detected. Our diverter to the shoot to diverter will be open. But the problem with this program is whenever X4 is detected, it only has signal for 20 milliseconds. So after 20 milliseconds, this will be turned off. That time is not enough to keep this open. So we have to use a latching concept. So how can you do latching is that whatever output you got, you can use that output again in the OR command to do the latching. So control down arrow, and I'm going to type Y21 again. So this means whenever Y21 is active, I am doing something. And also to unlatch, you have to write some command. Here I am using the detector to do that. So X1 is the detector for shoot. So whenever X1 is on, then only open the diverter. So this is a latching, and every program should end with END. So how this program works is that whenever X10 is turned on, Y10 will be turned on, and whenever Y10 is turned on and you detect an yellow, you will open the diverter. But this will only happen for 20 milliseconds. So to keep this open until we get a marble, we are using the latching concept. So we are going to latch this output here Y21, and whenever X1 is off, then only this Y21 is going to be turned off. So I'm going to accept these changes, write to PLC, yes, write to PLC, and mode is run. Now I'm going to turn on X10. You can see it turned on the Y10, and Y10 is turned on, X1 is turned on now, but Y21 is not turned on because it didn't see a yellow marble. Now a yellow marble was there. You can see when yellow marble was detected, Y21 will get activated and this Y21 will latch it. So this is about latching. How to write a not statement. So right now it is whenever X10 is turned on, turn on the feed motor. If you want to change this to whenever X10 is turned off, turn on the Y10, you can give it this as a not. So to do that, you can give X10 and backslash in the keyboard and enter. Right now what it means is that whenever X10 is not active, power on Y10. Now you can accept these changes, write to PLC. You can see whenever X10 is not turned on, feed motor is running. Now I am going to turn on the X10. That means it's stopping the feed motor because not is the command here used. Now I am again going back to stop the turn off the switch. Now you can see Y10 is running. So that's about not